Welcome to Motherhood, Aligned and Assigned, where we help guide mothers from symptoms to solutions.
We're Dr. Serena Coffman and Dr. Veronica Schiltz, nervous system specialists helping families discover the missing link in their wellness journey.
Join us as we translate complex health challenges into simple, actionable solutions for you and your children.
Because your family deserves to thrive,
not just survive.
Merry Christmas! We're only halfway through the winter, and your kid has already been sick 12 times. You've tried vitamins, essential oils, immune boosters, and nothing is working, and you're starting to question yourself. So, you're doing everything right, I'd say, just in the wrong order. Let's break it down. Say we're gonna...
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! We're giving you a gift of health information.
Hope, answers, and healing.
Yeah, and we're gonna flip the script and show you how changing the order can change everything.
Mm-hmm. So we do have a patient who last year started care around this time, actually, and he came in with a chronic cough. My goodness, this poor boy had a cough just on and off, and it was just interesting because every time he'd get adjusted, it would go away. He went on an intensive schedule, it was like gone, and then it would come back, and we thought it was maybe allergies or, every time he went to the farm, it would kick back up again, but he would just come in so sickly looking, and then he would get adjusted, and he would have like an excellent day. Fast forward to the end of his care plan, I didn't hear from them for like 2 weeks, and that was not really normal for them. Mom tells me they were in the hospital the whole time because he essentially had a pretty severe case of bronchitis and then also had some asthma that was keeping him in the hospital. And so it was a really stressful time for them, and this was something that was pretty common for them in the winter. I mean, this kid, I saw him for 3 months straight for his restore and repair care plan, and he was just so sick. It was like everything else was tracking. He was eating, he was drinking, he was doing all things, but he just could not kick this cough, and found out that that's when he got asthma. Well, fast forward to this year, he is going through his first winter under care, and so far he's doing pretty good. He doesn't really have any illnesses. He did have a little bit of an asthma scare once, but they kind of treated it, and he did not have to get administered into the hospital. And so it really does kind of show the patterns that we see in terms of when he first came in. He was sick all the time. They were doing all the things, right? They were eating healthy. They were taking these supplements. They were doing all these things for him. And now that his nervous system is doing great, he's doing great.
Wow. So it just took time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story I'm getting is, and I see this all the time in lots of forms of at the beginning of care. Well, the thing that we're really working on, it's like after the adjustment, great. This happens with sleep a lot. My first night after the adjustment, I slept great. Or baby slept great. And then they're like, but we're approaching the end of our restorative care plan, and it's still kind of like, it's better. We're still doing well after an adjustment, but why isn't it sticking? A year later, it's sticking. It's taking traction. Like, this was a deep-rooted subluxation and stress. How is this HRV?
Honestly, that was the tricky part, is because it actually looked pretty good.
Mm.
So that's why I know I said 3 months, and I'm like, it probably should have been longer, but his HRV was looking really great. He was a very uncomplicated birth. I thought this whole process was going to be simple, but he just really had that cough that just wouldn't let up.
Yeah.
And so now, kind of like Dr. Serena said, it was that first, I kind of was worried because it was like my first year in practice, right? I'm like one of my first patients ever, and I was like, why won't this go away? But they stuck with it. They've been here for a year now, and obviously throughout there was wins, but it's like the things compound because he was struggling with something for a majority of his life that we couldn't figure out why, and it just kept getting worse. And now I feel like we're keeping it at bay, and almost it's going away more, right? So yes, not only time, but oftentimes when you come into a chiropractor, you're also kind of fighting an uphill battle, right? This has been accumulating for, he was 3, right? So it's been accumulating for 3 years now. I just want you to know that long term, it's going to get better the more you address that, because you're building a new foundation. This isn't about quick wins. This isn't about just getting through this winter healthy. This is about setting your kid up for the rest of their life for healthy winters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because lots of parents like, well, it's just winter, and I'll get through it, and we'll just go through this medicine cabinet shuffle. Like, oh, I'll try this, and then I'll try this. Like, because this crunchy mom's like, well, I'm not going to use cough syrup. I have this honey-based elderberry cough syrup. We'll try that. Like, maybe we'll tip our toes into essential oils, a little more potent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that, but right? We can get into the shuffle of like, I'll try this and I'll try this. And then we end up with this like giant basket of supplements that aren't really doing the trick, right? They're just kind of like honestly, the crunchy
Less
stuff, my
mild.
husband doesn't even like it. He's like, this stuff doesn't even work. Like the crunchy medicine, he's like, what's this doing? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just come get an adjustment instead.
Right.
But
I
okay.
will say the only one I do stand by always is Earthly. We are not sponsored,
Okay.
but Earthly, Feel Better Fast, we do not live without that.
Yeah, I have
don't
one
get-
that's probably similar that when I'm starting to feel a little icky, it's got ginger
things.
and
Mm.
garlic and like some potent like, echinacea, and it's a dropper. And I'm just like taking a
Chugging
little,
it.
taking a little hit.
We have our things, but research shows, we're going to go back to this because you've done your medicine cabinet shuffle.
How do we get to the medicine cabinet shuffle? Go for it.
Research shows 90% of healthy newborns already have nervous system dysfunction before their first cold even hits. And antibiotic use before age 2 is at a 40% increased risk of allergies by age 7.
And I want to say the stat that I had written down in chiropractic schools, I had written this down 4 years ago, at least, is a vast majority of children will have had antibiotics before they're 2. And then even more of them will have had more than one dose of antibiotics before they're 3. Right? So why is this happening? This is happening for a couple of reasons. There's another lane we don't need to go down today. Our lane is subluxation, right? There's stress in their nervous system, creating dis-ease, overwhelming their immune system's ability to respond to those, I call them, these are in my category, chemical stressors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so trying to boost your immunity without nervous system regulation is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes, right? Like you can pour as much cough syrup as you want down your throat, but if your nervous system is dysregulated and you're stressed out, which is probably why you got sick first, it's not going to touch it, right? So let's talk about our 5 foundational pillars to health. So number 1, we will always say nervous system regulation. Mic drop. You don't need anything else. No, I'm kidding. Number 2, this is really important. This is when I get sick, is deep restorative sleep. And I have so many patients in my office that are not getting deep restorative sleep because their nervous system is stuck on the gas, right? That's the first thing we see in healing is restorative sleep come back into play.
Can't fall asleep and can't stay asleep.
Yep. Both. Yeah. And then, especially for our kiddos, especially for our kiddos, and then also for us, movement and motor development, right? We had motion is lotion in so many ways, but movement is so restorative to our body. It's detoxing, it's energizing, it's great. And then what was that?
Flowing.
Yes.
Move, yeah.
And then we need clean and consistent, that's a good one, nutrition, right? So eating clean as much as we can, right? I'm not going to tell parents if it's out of their means to go buy every single thing organic, grass-fed, like grew up in a bubble food. But like clean 15, dirty dozen, those types of things are a good balance. Yeah, just as clean as you can get food, right? If we're getting all of our food from McDonald's and from cans and from microwave things, like let's talk about how we can do, those things are expensive also, right? Let's talk about how we can do cleaner nutrition affordably. And then consistent meals is also important, right? Our body needs energy and nutrients to operate our detox pathways and immune system, and all of those things. That our food is way better than supplements, I will say. Right. And then number 5, our emotional health, which is often hinged on our relational health, right? So do you have community? Oh my gosh, community is huge for our health and longevity, right? So this is a tough one because everyone's like, I'm so busy, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Are you plugged into a community? For those of you who are believers, are you leaning on the church to find that community? For those of you who are not believers, do you have a club you could go play volleyball with, or create a book club? Yeah, create a community, and not just like a surface level thing. Like ask for help, offer help, develop your village, right? A village is so important for our health and our overall well-being and longevity.
And to add in, I like how we said these pillars in this order, because you've got your nervous system regulation at the top, right? Just to kind of recap. Then you've got sleep, and then movement, and then nutrition, and then your village, right? If you try to do this out of order, it's just not going to work, right? That's why it's those pillars. We set them in the order in which you want to find these things. So if you are sleep deprived and you're overstimulated and you're eating bad and you're not moving your body, you're probably not going to go on that coffee date, right? So they all kind of feed into one another, and making sure that you are tending to those needs so that you can, when you get to pillar number 5, right, and you're ready to start making mom friends, you are not stressed about what you're going to eat for dinner because you already have a plan, right? Because you're eating consistently. So I just wanted to say, like, please go in order.
Nervous laugh. Run to the little, that's hard sometimes. Right?
It is.
But,
it is hard.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to myself too.
This is a good, yeah.
So obviously one of our best lanes and one of our most foundational lanes is nervous system regulation, right? And so we want to start with chiropractic care. Okay, I should preface this with, you could start in other pillars. You could totally be like, you know what? I'm not going to go see a chiropractor. I'm just going to try and improve my sleep, or I'm going to start eating healthier, or I'm going to do movement. All we're saying is that it's just going to be a lot harder. You're going to be fighting an uphill battle. We're not saying you can't do these things.
If you're struggling to sleep.
Yeah.
Right. And the people who I've seen who are struggling to sleep, they've poured all the supplements at it, and all of the herbs and all of the good habits. Some of them haven't, but chiropractic care sets it's not chiropractic care that sets the tone necessarily. It's a balanced and regulated nervous system, which a lot of us aren't starting with, sets the tone for all of these things. We can help restore balance to the nervous system. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And so I kind of want to tell a quick story, if that's okay, about one of our patients, Kelly. She came in and she was taking medication. She was taking Adderall for her ADHD, severe ADHD, Wellbutrin for her depression. She just felt like think about that. Got a stimulant and depressant all in one. So poor lady. But essentially she came in and she was like, I just don't feel like I have any emotions. I don't have any energy left. I just have this blah to life, right? So imagine this patient is trying to change her diet or exercise or all these things. Her brain doesn't even feel like it can function through day to day. Oh, she also wasn't sleeping great because her kids weren't sleeping great, but that's another story. And so you've got this storm of things happening, creating this almost shutdown in her system. And trying to tell, I'm just thinking about other providers who could have had access to her, right? If she had started somewhere else, who would have tried to tell her, we need to get you on a meal plan, and we need to, get you on this exercise routine so that you can blah, blah, blah. And just, if you have someone who's either shut down, overstimulated, or both, you're not going to get very far, right? Because the nervous system is stuck. And so it's already stressed. It's already overflowing with stress. If you're adding more stress to it, it's just going to be more stressed, right? And so all we're saying is chiropractic care comes first so that you can remove that stress. And now she's saying things like, you know what, actually, I don't need coffee every day. And I actually am hungry more often, because her brain and her body, and she feels more emotionally, she feels more connected to her kids. She feels more connected to her, her work. She feels like she can focus without some of those medications, right? We're tapering her off of these medications. It opens up the doors to more, because you're releasing and restoring what was dysfunctional, right? So we're kind of just going to talk about chiropractic care and why it's helpful. So you have subluxation, which is essentially a place in your nervous system that is not functioning at its optimal. When that area of your nervous system does that for a certain amount of time, it turns into dysautonomia, right? So not only do we have one area of the spine, usually upper cervical region, right? We're going to get into why that's important later, but usually you have the first dysfunction up front, because that's where your brainstem comes out of your body, right? And that's kind of like the breaker of your body, right? C1, C2, C0 even are all areas that kind of start with dysfunction first, because it's trying to protect every other area of the spine. If the shock or whatever, the stress is going through the whole spine, we're going to have a lot more problems, right? So we have one area that starts to kind of stop functioning properly, but then everything else under it also stops functioning properly. So that's when you lead into dysautonomia. Now we have systems that are not functioning properly. And that's what we're looking for on our scans. We're looking for the dysfunction. We're looking for the systems that have been affected by that dysfunction. And we're also looking to see if our systems are functioning properly, right? So we've got our parasympathetics, we've got our sympathetics. We're looking to see where the dysfunction is at, how much it's affecting everything else, right? So that's that vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is talking to so many different things. We've talked about this in previous episodes, so hopefully I don't have to explain that, right? So if you got dysfunction up here, you've also got dysfunction in the vagus nerve. Restoring that connection, getting rid of that function is going to help improve the autonomia. Is that a thing? Autonomia of the body, right? The way
The autonomic function.
Autonomic function, yes. The way that whenever your brain is functioning and you're not telling it what to do, are we doing that properly? Are we doing that efficiently? And when that happens, you're going to start to see improvements in sleep. You're going to start to see more energy. You're going to start to see a better understanding of what you're needing to fuel your body with, right? You're going to stop craving, serotonin and dopamine, and you're going to stop craving things that boost those things, and you're going to start craving nutritional deficiencies that your body is finding, right? And so that's kind of what we're talking about is when you go through chiropractic care, it's not that you're taking the easier path, but you are removing the friction to a better and more optimized lifestyle.
Yeah. There's less noise and chaos. So you're teasing out the chaos. So you'll just have a way better idea of what your body needs.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it'll be easier for your body to receive that. Like if you're having trouble sleeping, it'll be easier to sleep, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Right. So we see this perfect storm pattern happen especially when this isn't done in order, right? So how did we get to the sick cycle, right? Where did that start? What happened? So this is going to sound harsh. Don't be offended. That's not my intention. But this is a pattern we see. Here's the thing. If you're feeling offended by what I'm about to say, check yourself. Are you really just
explore that?
Explore that.
She said check yourself.
Check yourself. That's what I have to do. I'm like, wow,
get curious.
That was offending. No, I was offending. That was offensive. I'm like, wait a minute. It's because I'm feeling convicted. Okay. Maybe I just maybe no one will be convicted.
I love that so much. No,
so we start with perfect storm, right? Prenatal stress. So were you really stressed when you were pregnant? Life happens, right? So I'm not saying, shame on you for being stressed. I'm saying, let's just note that. Let's take a note. Was your birth really stressful and traumatic? Were there interventions all the way from medication to physical tools or hands were being used to get baby out? And then did your kiddo have antibiotics early on in life? How much? Do they sleep really poorly? For how long? If they had a really stressful birth, they probably have never slept very well. And then do they have access to a lot of toxic food? This is where we're looking at conviction versus I'm not, don't be offended by me, unfollow. Or you can, whatever. No movement, right? Are they sitting in front of screens all day? Or, they're at school, because that's not the options. Not all of us are like, we're going to do a forced play homeschool, right? Some of us our access is, and what makes more sense for us is public school. And they're just sitting a lot. And do they come home and sit more? This creates a really great foundation for chronic illness, right?
I feel like, in case you're wondering where Dr. Serena was saying you may be offended, is that half this list is things that you could do better, right? Are you prioritizing sleep? Are you prioritizing healthier food? Are you prioritizing movement? Those are 1, 2, 3 of the 6 things we just told you. And so if you are being ill more often, it could be that you're not doing those things.
Yeah.
But you might not be doing those things because you're dysregulated.
Yeah. And if your children are stuck in this chronic illness pattern, it's we are stewards of our children,
yes.
Right? So are we prioritizing their sleep? Are we getting them to bed on time? Are we practicing healthy sleep hygiene habits? Are we giving them access to clean and good food? Are we giving them access to movement, right? So that is where I'm coming out of yes, life is crazy and it's busy, but how do we serve our children well to set them up for success, right? Because this isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern. And once we spot it, if this is an aha moment for you, we're oh, interesting. We've been so busy this year It's been hard to get our kids to bed on time. We're just eating out a lot and like grabbing fast food because we're on the road for soccer games and et cetera, et cetera. And then our kids are just sitting at school, and then I don't get home until 5 or 6. And so they're just watching TV until I get home, right? So if this is an aha moment for you, we can shift it, right? If we spot these things, let's make a shift. Those are things you can do at home. And then we can also come into play of let's help this stuckness and this subluxation pattern reverse to get them on a path of health. And we can do this together.
Yeah, so this is the sequence that changes everything, right? So you've got your nervous system first. We already talked about why that's important. That is going to directly improve your sleep. Most of the time, it's like one of the fastest things to happen. If not, that's okay. Stick with it because it will eventually improve, right? When your body wants to sleep, it does. So the fact that it's not sleeping, something's wrong. Once we, remove the interference, it should sleep. Then your energy rises because you're sleeping better, right? Which makes you want to move your body more. I don't care what anyone says. I've had people come into my office who'd be like, are you going to be one of those chiropractors that gives me exercises because I'm not doing them? And I'm like, well, no. First of all, and second of all, you're actually going to want to exercise after you get to your wellness plan. And without fail, they either start walking or they start doing things with their family that's more physically active because they just have more energy to do it. Okay, so it literally, that just naturally happens. And then once you start moving more, your digestion gets better, right? Because you're also moving, your motility in your stomach and your gut is working better. Then your brain is now signaling, it's saying, oh, I actually don't care for sweets and salties because my brain isn't sad all the time, right? It's because I actually am craving things like foliage, right? And things like, I don't know, I've had some people be like, I wanted a salad today for lunch and I'm mad at you. Like, yippee, right? Like, that's amazing. You're just naturally going to crave healthier things. You're going to crave whole foods oftentimes. There is some work to be done with that, but that naturally happens typically.
And you're going to absorb nutrients better. Exactly.
Yes. So no more constipation, no more diarrhea, no more mixture of the two. No more floaties. And then your immunity will stabilize because you're sleeping, eating, and moving better. The end.
The end. Yeah, so just some encouragement since I dropped the perfect storm pattern that might have called some of you out. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not a failure, right? Confidence comes from understanding the right order, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're feeling like you need to get back on track, start with stuff at your home, right? Mm-hmm. Let's start getting good sleep routines and some clean foods. And if that's feeling really hard, that's a really good indicator that come get your nervous system checked, right? Let's get that all balanced so you can sleep better, so that you can digest better. Rest, digest. Part of the nervous system, brake pedal. And then set up. And then let's kick the sick. Yeah, right.
You don't need more remedies. You need to release the stress holding everything back. Let's help your child heal from the inside out. Hope answers help, and that's what we're here for. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this holiday season. We thank you that you are in every detail. We thank you that you are leading us, that you are guiding us. And I just pray that everyone on this holiday would just feel your presence more than ever, that we would be reminded that you are the reason for the season, and that we would also be healthy and happy and whole this holiday season. So we pray that you would just bless the person who is listening to this, that they would have an excellent holiday, and that you would facilitate them to come into our offices if they resonated with any of this. We love you, we honor you, we praise you. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us on Motherhood, Aligned and Assigned.
We hope today's episode helped you connect the dots in your family's health journey.
Remember, this is where nervous system health meets motherhood wisdom.
Until next time, we're Dr. Veronica Schiltz
and Dr. Serena Coffman, supporting you as you nurture your family's well-being.
Because when you're aligned, everyone thrives.